Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Fast Electronic and Loud. We bring to you Fast Electronic and, of course, Loud. First off, Happy New Year to everybody out there. I want to thank you guys for the support on the channel. Much appreciated. And this video is going to be a tutorial, kind of a walkthrough, and it was actually requested also by a few viewers. This is actually a pretty common question I get is, hey, Ryan over there, Fast Electronic and Loud, how do you deliver those amazing 1080p gameplays? You spend a lot of time rendering. What's your setup like? And you guys might have seen our videos before with our setup and our gaming, but I'm going to actually give you kind of a behind the scenes, kind of how I do things here. So what you're seeing recording me right now is on a Canon 60D. Use something called an intervalometer, and if you don't know what that is, I don't want to spend any time. Look it up, highly recommend it. You can get your excellent focus shot every time. Nonetheless, that's what I have in my hand, so everybody knows. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys a setup, kind of how I do my gaming setup. Where I'm located. Right here I'm kind of sitting on my couch, and this is in front of my 60-inch TV, and you guys seen that on the channel here. I've got a blue Yeti Pro right here. I've got my Xbox controller here. I've got my remote, some games here on the table as well. Just use a standard Xbox One headset. It's not that serious for me. I've got a 2012 MacBook Pro 15-inch Retina right here that I actually do use for the actual capture itself, and I use the Elgato Game Capture HD, and you guys have seen that before. Back over here to my left is actually kind of my workstation, my home office for both Fast Electronic and Loud, YouTube, as well as my personal business that I own. So I do that over there, and I'll get into that here in just a second in the setup. This is just kind of what we're going to be doing, what we're going to be talking about. So we've got the Elgato here, and I'll show you here in the setup how I keep it functional, but yet still plug a couple things in when I need to. You know, take it over to the edit station here, or I can edit on the 2012 if I like, and we'll get into that. But just want to set up this video here and show you kind of what we're going to be doing, how we're going to be doing the behind the scenes as requested by you. One of the number one most requested videos that we get. So we thought we'd start off 2014 with answering something for you guys. So, and before I get to that setup, leave me a comment below, guys, and leave some questions. It's going to be also a great time for a question and answer session. So if there's something on your mind, something you'd like to see, go ahead and leave that in the comment here as well. Or shoot us a message on Facebook, Twitter, what have you. So let's go ahead and get into this setup, how we record those gameplays, how we bring you that full 1080p, those amazing render times that we spend, long upload times, but we do it anyway because we want to deliver the quality content that you guys want on YouTube, as well as deliver the Xbox One. That needs to be demonstrated in its full capacity, full 1080p, captured at the highest possible settings we can with the Elgato, and we capture that and use everything in Final Cut Pro, and we'll get into that Final Cut Pro 10. So let's check it out, guys. Walk with me as I go through this behind the scenes setup here at Team Fell, aka Fast Electronic and Loud. Okay, guys, so when it's decided that I want a game here, you know, I'll just kind of come in here. I keep my Elgato set up there, and I'll come actually over here, and I keep a couple cables. One thing I keep in case I'm streaming is just an Ethernet cable connected to Thunderbolt HDMI adapter, as well as a USB extender cable. So I've actually got the Elgato cable here, so I actually can go ahead and bear with me because I am freehanding this Canon as well as hooking this up for you. So just want to show you how I, you know, get these gameplays for you. And I'll grab this extension cable here for USB, and we'll get that plugged in as well. And I'll go ahead and grab the Ethernet cable in case I stream, you know, to Twitch, to YouTube, what have you. So I'll go ahead and plug that in right there to my Mac, and I'll go ahead and grab the USB as well. And we'll get that plugged in. Give me just a second here, get that. And then we'll come over here, and I keep an extra power cable there for the Mac ready to go. So you can see there, we got that all connected. And then over here, I've got my remotes, my Xbox. I use the Blue Yeti Pro, and that's the 2012 MacBook Pro Retina. So I've got the controllers, remotes, some games, battery. I keep actually the extra controller here and charging station back there next to my time capsule. So when it's decided I want to get recording, and you guys hopefully have seen the other videos, where I can just simply push a button on one controller with the Xbox and turn everything on. So let's go ahead and do that. And you guys remember from those other videos, Xbox turned on, receiver clicked on, TV's turning on. So You can see there, guys, like we said, the receiver, Xbox One's on, TV turned on, and there we have a separate video. Check the description below, I have the link. So we got that temporary. Everyone's like, ooh, the wires. Well, like I said, we don't leave this connected all the time. I know when I'm going to capture and record or stream, and that's just when I put it together. So got that fed into the Mac. I've got the Yeti over here, and that captures actually that gorgeous sound that you guys want. I've got a pop filter in front of it, and I may adjust that accordingly. I usually do sit right here on that seat right there, so that's usually where I sit, and that's how I capture the audio. That mic is so good it even picks up click, click, click of the controller. So we've got the Elgato connected. I have the Mac on, so let me go ahead and put in my password here. And usually what is up on the Mac, well, you can see the Elgato is currently already running. So I've got the Elgato running to the Mac. That's great. So everyone knows how to do that, and they've captured their gameplay. And that's kind of half the battle. Is getting that gameplay captured. If you guys, looked on your settings there for your Elgato, you can see here how we've got ours. Let me bring this into focus for you guys here. And you can see there for ours, we got the Xbox One. We're doing 1080p on expanded, as well as the quality is set to best. So that's actually how I've got for the capture. And then if you click over here, I haven't done anything with picture or audio. I haven't changed any of this at all. So the only thing that I adjusted was Xbox One, 1080p at the best quality. Preserve source format down here. And then let's try to zoom in here up top for you guys. And I'm actually going to run a screen capture of this so you guys can see this as well. So you know what I'm talking about. So I'll pull that up and you guys can see that. It'll be like a picture-in-picture. I'll edit that for you. But you can see there our input there is 1920 at 1080 at 59.94 frames per second. Output 29 frames per second. So we're capturing, the output's 30 meg. Basically 13.6 gig an hour, audio 224 kbps. So this actually, the max setting, capturing at 30 frames per second, which is what we want, which is what YouTube loves for streaming. H.264 works extremely well with 30 frames per second. That's the target bit right there. So let me go ahead and pull back out of here for a second here. Like I said, guys, bear with me. Don't look at the, oh, his camera's shaking. Oh, it's out of focus. I'm just trying to give you guys behind the scenes how I do it. And I see you make sure I've got the Yeti there is connected here. Game audio, where I keep mine, is at -5. And sometimes I adjust that depending on the settings or the game. And I keep my live commentary at 9. So that's how I activate and deactivate live commentary. You guys know that. And if I'm live streaming, live streaming down here, I can go ahead and activate, either one. Oh, pardon me there. Live streaming, I can either, go to Twitch or YouTube, whichever I'm actually doing there. So, like I said, I keep all the videos over in just one folder. That's nothing new with you guys, the Elgato. This is where those games happen to be. This is actually where the fun comes in. So say, for example, looks like here we were doing a little team play here. Let's pull up this particular file. And that wasn't too big a one. I'm actually going to find a bigger one here for you guys. Some Need for Speed. That's just the title name. Here we go. Here's a prime example. Let me focus in on that for you guys. So you can see here, that is 2.68 gig. Just a 12-minute game. 1920 by 1080. Everybody's like, holy cow, that's a huge game file. Yes, it is. You're going to want a powerful machine to work with this. This is a 2012 MacBook Pro Retina, 15-inch. It's got integrated, it's got the G4 650M video card in here, 8 gig RAM, 256 hard drive. This was the 2012 model, so I actually have a 2013, and you can see the unboxing of that on our channel as well, so it's actually on my desk over here. But nonetheless here, what we want to do is see this actual file right here. This is actually where the fun comes in, and this is actually where I get to make the beauty behind everything. I use applications such as Final Cut Pro as well as Compressor. So we're going to go actually open up Final Cut Pro. So give me just a second here. I'm actually going to set up a record here real quick for you guys. I don't know if you guys actually know this. A good thing besides ScreenFlow. Built into QuickTime Player here. You can actually just go up here to File and go to New Screen Recording. So I'm going to go ahead and actually record this now for you guys. That way you'll actually see this through the power of editing. In the Final Cut, you'll actually see this full screen. So we're actually recording the screen, and I'll put that in this gameplay. So for example, let me go ahead and move this down here just a little bit. let's say we were going to bring in one of those game types. So let me go ahead and close this background task out here. So we're going to bring in that one over there. Okay, so that's our file we want. So we can either just drag it over there, however we like. So let me move this down for you guys here and bring everything back into focus. This is behind the scenes, guys. Don't judge us for the quality of the video here, you know, with focus or out of frame. We're just trying to give you behind the scenes because it's been requested and we wanted to show you. So, for example, I'm actually content with using this particular event. You could create a new event in Final Cut if you'd like. That's up to you. Final new event. This is Final Cut Pro 10. So I actually don't want to do that. I'm just going to capture that and bring it right over. So here is that segment 1 that we talked about that we're going to use. We're going to just bring that in and drop it in. So I've just dropped in that entire game, and it's going to take just a second, and then you can see it's ready to go. So let's go ahead and bring up Final Cut here and bring it up in a better screen. And you can see I've kind of been working on a project here as well down below. This was actually the last video that I've showed you guys how I set up everything with controlling your TV. So let's just use this for a second, and I'll show you that gameplay I just brought over, you saw. We'll go ahead and bring that in, and I'm just going to drop it down on top of what's already here. I'll just say replace that, because I actually, you know, depending on your project, let me clip the sound here so it doesn't interfere with our video there. I'll go ahead and delete this out. And you can see kind of, for example here, that gameplay, that's how it would render. You know, I've added things like such as the subscribe button. You know, sometimes I'll bring in, you know, our logo or our graphic. You guys have seen that, you know, the Team Fell logos, team graphics. So, say for example, I was going to bring that in on Final Cut. I could just drop that in right here, and you guys would say, whoa, that just took your whole screen up. How do you do that? Well, I could actually just come up here and transform this any size I want. That's kind of the awesome things about Final Cut Pro. So maybe I want to just, you know, bring that into this video here, and I'll just maybe leave it in the corner, depending on where I want it. So say I want to do it there. You know, this is all, you guys can see the videos. This is just a quick tutorial just behind the scenes. So maybe I'll just go ahead and finish dragging this out over here, you know, to the end of our video here. Ooh, kind of crazy there with my pad there. Pardon me, guys. So I'm just freehanding it. So nonetheless, you can control the zoom, you know, how big of the file you want to zoom in, zoom out. You know, I can bring that out like that and come all the way back and make that a real quick transition. You know, I can bring the subscribe button out here, you know, in my logo if I want it in there. Transition out, put an outro on there, and there you go. So that's kind of how I bring the media in to Final Cut Pro from the actual recorded gameplay using the Elgato. So then, you know, you'll be like, well, what do you do then with the file? Well, usually what I do is I'll either take this and I will do an export. So I'll go to Share, Export File from the menu up at the top, or you can actually do it from over here. Within Final Cut Pro 10, there's just a feature over here to the right. So I can just export that file right there. And then here's where it gets fun. So I can actually export this. And usually what I do first is I'll export that in just Apple ProRes 422. And you guys can see, and let me zoom that in for you here, the estimated size from the 3 gig and how much that will actually grow. That's just an estimate. It won't end up that big. But that's just so that I can take it over to the render station like we talked about over there. So I'll actually say, for example, render that out, grab the file, put it on an external drive, or move it to my time capsule and just pull it off there. Either way to edit it, you know, or render it, or I can just do it from right here. You know, sometimes I like to work at the desk. If I like to work at the desk, then I'll do this step here. So if, let's say, for example, well, I wasn't working at the desk, I wanted to actually, you know, make this available for YouTube right now. Well, I'm going to show you here. I would actually just go to H264, because that's, YouTube will love you and loves your videos. You can still see that's estimated at 3 gig. It might be a little less, a little more. But if you'll notice here, the default with Final Cut Pro, you notice, whoa, what happened to our frame rate? 24 frames per second. Well, that changed. Well, let me show you how to fix that, okay? You might go, whoa, we captured at 30. YouTube prefers 30. And I want to see 30, because, yeah, you do want to. 30 is going to make the file bigger. Well, let me show you how to fix that. You're just like, oh, no, oh, no. So, what we can do it a couple different ways. If you have your inspector here, the problem with the project already open, there's kind of a cliche. it's kind of stuck at what it's stuck at, and you can't, you know, you may not be able to make that adjustment. So another easy way to make that adjustment, if you like, because you notice here our footage was shot 29.97, 30 frames per second. So that's the original source footage. So, but our project was only going to render at 24. Well, let me show you how to fix that, guys. What you want to do, just create a new project real quick. Up here, you know, name it whatever. When you open Final Cut Pro 10 like this and just do a project, it automatically comes up like this. Don't use a custom video property. I'm going to show you why. Because the default's already set at 2398. You need to up that, guys. You need to up that to 30. It's going to increase your file size, but it's going to give you that gorgeous gameplay that we're showing you on our channel. So we're going to up that to 30 frames per second, custom. We're also going to go custom here. We're going to make sure this says stereo, not surround. Now we can adjust the sample rate down to 44.1 if you like, or leave it at 48. That's up to you guys. We're going to go ahead and just blow it out at 488. Render format, leave right there. So now we have this new untitled project. So for example, we had that gameplay. We could bring that back over, which is right here. Boom. There is the actual gameplay. Now I can just take that file, like we talked about, and take it over to my edit station. I can export that file now, if I want, into full H.264. But if I was taking it over to the desk, I'd put it Apple ProRes 422 to edit, so I could add, you know, subscribe button graphics, and then render it out to H.264, either using Final Cut Pro or compressor, either or. But you'll notice here, guys, now we're at 30 frames per second, and that is actually what you want. So let's say we're just going to render this video out, H.264, 30 frames per second. You can see they're estimated 2.6 gig. So not too bad. We would actually go ahead and click next, get a file itself, would become available on our desktop or wherever we've saved it to, and at that point we would just come over to YouTube, like you guys have seen everyone do, and everyone knows usually how to upload. But, you know, we'll just bring up our video manager in YouTube, and we would click upload, and YouTube is going to love you for your H.264 and 30 frames per second. That actually works. 24 is the standard how videos and movies are shot, but for 30 frames per second for streaming video, like to show video online, that's really the best. So we'd actually just select the file to upload, grab our movie that we began, and find it, and we would actually just go ahead and begin to upload that to YouTube like you guys have seen. So some of you guys said, well, what are you going to do if you came over to the edit station? Well, that's a very good question, because it's very similar. Like if we outputted that, let me bring back into focus here. If we outputted that back to ProRes, which I usually do, I would probably grab like that flash drive here, pardon me, not a flash drive, but big Western Digital, My Passport, and that's a 1.5 terabyte. I'd grab that, you know, bring the ProRes, save it on there so that it was ready to go. I might render that out and edit it on the 2013 MacBook Pro. That's the 15-inch, 15.4 inch. You guys hopefully checked out the unboxing of it. It's got the upgraded graphics, 16 gig RAM, 500 gig hard drive. It's for the off-the-shelf, it's their highest model they sell, so it's pretty sweet. And I keep right beside here a Thunderbolt cable, as well as a charger, because I do run the Apple Thunderbolt display. I actually highly recommend them. They're one of the best things to edit on. I've got my Monster DNAs. That's what I use most of the time to listen or play music. I've got an iPod Touch 5th Gen sitting right there, and this has all been on our channel. And then I'll either actually do rendering on the 2013, but since I've upgraded my 2012 Mac Mini, which this was the $799 model, I've actually upgraded it to 240 gig SSD as well as 16 gig RAM. So I've been just doing some renders with Final Cut Pro 10 on it. Not as zippy because it doesn't have the 4th Gen Intel, but nonetheless it does fly. When I'm bored or when I'm rendering, I've got iPad Mini Retina display right here, or the iPad Air. Yeah, I know, I'm an Apple fanatic. These particular, I've got this wireless keyboard and trackpad. That's actually connected to the Mac Mini. I've got the Magic Mouse that is connected to the MacBook Pro. And then below here, as well, sometimes I'll actually pull out a regular keyboard because it is nice. I know that's funny, guys, to see a PC keyboard on the Mac Mini, but I'll tell you, it's sometimes nice to use it. And then I actually, believe it or not, use a Microsoft Bluetooth mouse. Don't tell anybody. But nonetheless, so, yeah, I know everybody's like, well, that's a lot of extra stuff. Well, that's just how I do it. That's just me. So, And then over here, I've got the time capsule, and if I need to save anything that is connected on the network, and I've showed you guys a video of that. If you haven't seen it, make sure you check that out there. It's basically, I don't use it to extend my network. I have it just to expand, so I still can access time capsule for backups. So yeah, and just keep an extra controller there with my charging station, and like you saw, I had that just keep an extra power cable there for the MacBook Pro. But yeah, just wanted to give you guys a quick, I know you guys are like, that was not quick. Well, you guys asked for it, and to be honest with you, there's a lot that goes into making these gameplays. I would do it anyway just because I love doing this. I'm a super techie, as you guys can tell. So, but yeah, I wanted to show you guys how we're actually able to bring that to you in the full 1080p. Exporting through Final Cut, using compressor if we desire, multiple stations to edit and render. But yeah, I just, wanted to show you guys that and provide, kind of the behind the scenes, kind of how we do it over here at Fast Electronic and Loud. If you like this video, please go ahead and leave me a comment. I'd be happy to talk to you about, our setup, some other things you've seen here. Maybe you guys have some questions of your own. You want to go over that with us, and that's fine. But just, how we did it, and that's, like I said, I just coil all those up when I'm done, and I'm ready to go, It makes it very nice, and having your MacBook Pro connected via HDMI to Thunderbolt is going to come in extremely handy if you are streaming instead of streaming over wireless. Some people do that, and I actually have streamed over wireless in full 1080p using nothing more than that bad boy right there. That's correct. That's Time Capsule, or pardon me, Airport Extreme 2013. So yes, I can stream to Twitch with that at 1080p. A lot of people are like, no, you can't. Well, that's how we've done it. So, but yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this behind the scenes tour of how we do it over here at Fast Electronic and Loud. That is usually where I'm at, engaged in some combat there, bringing you guys the best 1080p content I can. I'll either edit and render and upload there, or I'll come over here to my precision collision, is what I like to call it. So, a lot of people had asked, well, what is all that hanging above your desk? So, because it's at the end of the video and most people skip to the end, well, then I can give this chance to opportunity. So, yes, that is correct, guys. I actually have 4 college degrees. I have one in Cisco Network, basically. I have one in Computer Information Systems Networking. All of these I graduated with high honors. My last 2 are from the University of Illinois. I did receive a bachelor and master degree in computer science. I did graduate with high honors from both schools. Very proud of that. And was definitely influenced by my grandfather, who passed in 2012. He graduated from University of Illinois with a master in business administration. So I do run my own company, guys. I'm getting ready to start a new company as well, and I've involved some other endeavors. So always keep some nice new business cards, and look for those, guys, if you want some business cards. Leave a comment below. I'll be happy to send some out to you. We have new ones coming, as well as I have the old style right there. So that's up to you guys. Just let me know. I'll send you guys some out. No problems. We're just look for a lot of new things with Fast Electronic and Loud, but wanted to give you that kind of behind the scenes tour, how I do it, how I record these gameplays. So yeah, guys, just wanted to kind of do this video, show you kind of how we do it behind the scenes here at Fast Electronic and Loud. I'm Ryan. We looked at how we capture with the Elgato, connect the Xbox One, full 1080p, export, import, Final Cut Pro, the Blue Yeti, which I kind of bumped there. Sorry, Mr. Yeti. I love that mic. It's amazing audio quality. The rendering and edit setup back here, the cables and how we did it, everything here. So yeah, it's just kind of also been a big requested video. Everybody's wanted to see kind of behind the scenes, so we wanted to do that. It's been actually the top 3. The top one's how do you get all the, or where do you buy this stuff, and what's your job? So that's another video we'll work on as well. So, but if you guys want to leave a comment about this video, or if you guys want to ask me a question, that would be a good time. I'll take those too. We'll actually do a separate video answering the top 10 questions. So if there's something you guys on your mind, you want to know about me, myself, who I am, we can do that too, talk about that. So a lot of people ask, what do you do for a job, or money and things like that. I'll give you a preview. I actually own my own business outside of anything here with Fast Electronic and Loud, where we focus on IT services, wireless design, data center design, a lot of other things I focus on, social media, branding has been a good thing for us as well. So there's just a few different endeavors there that my company does, and couple other partnerships, yeah, but went to college for 6 years, worked my butt off. I'm 33 years old, about to turn 34, so a lot of people, you just got to work for what you get. And if it's worth working for, then it's worth getting. And you got to work hard. So I usually work about 60 to 80 hours a week, sometimes more. And you put in that type of work, you're going to get the type of output that you desire. So, you know, a lot of things that we get sent here, you know, some people ask us to review them, for them, check them out, what have you. So, but yeah, guys, leave a comment about this behind the scenes. Fast Electronic and Loud, how we bring you those 1080p gameplays. And this is brought to you by, well, Fast Electronic and Loud, Team Phelps. So if you like this video, click thumbs up, adds to your favorites, maybe subscribe, it helps us out. I'm Ryan, and we'll see you on the next episode, guys. Thanks for watching. Happy New Year.